Yep, hello and welcome to another full vlog this week. So last week I just did the highlights and summary. Yeah, back doing a full vlog this week. Plan to work full 5 days. Today is Monday, so it's week commencing Monday 28th of June 2021. As ever, fuel price, so yeah, changed a bit since last week. So last few weeks I've been using my Shell card, which I get through UK Fuels, because it's actually been cheaper, and it's, I've said before, it's easier to use, more, you don't have to think about it much. It's just a case of knowing which brands you can use and go into one of them, whereas with the other one, which uses a Key Fuels network, it's not a case of like all BPs are on it. Some BPs are on it, some SOs are on it, some Texacos, that kind of thing. Depends who actually owns a garage, I think, a lot of it. But anyway, this week the UK Fuels one's got dearer. It's gone up about a penny, and the other one, the BWOC or Block card, which is their own one, control for diesel, like I say, uses a Key Fuels network, that's gone slightly cheaper. It's come down about 0.1 of a pence. I think in general the price has gone up again. Excuse me. So yeah, I'm going to switch back to using the BWOC or Block one. They did ring me last week, as I mentioned in last week's brief highlights, and he did say try and do something with the price. It's only gone down slightly, but yeah, use that this week, because it is UK Fuels this week is 104.92 and the BWOC or Block is 104.35. So yeah, I'm going to use the Block one, which is with the VAT 125.22 pence per litre. So yeah, that's the fuels. And a bit of a technical issue this morning, which meant it was a really slow start. I started looking for jobs about 9:05, which is, for a Monday morning for me, I'm kind of happy with that now. I think as long as I start looking for jobs like 9 or just after, like this morning, I'm happy with that, because I just obviously away all week, make sure I have a decent night's sleep before I go away and all that jazz, and get things loaded in the van and that. Yeah, but I started looking at 9:05. I didn't get my first job until 11:05. The feed did seem pretty quiet, pretty slow, a bit worryingly slow. I mean, some people do say Mondays are quieter, but quietest day of the week, because you know businesses are kind of getting going after coming after the weekend. But I don't think it's as busy as it was like a few weeks or months ago, which is a bit concerning. Can't see why it'd get quieter. Yeah, any ideas? Put them below. But that was part of the issue, and I did eventually get a job. It got sent through without a phone call, which is kind of like bad practice from a shipper. And I've had a few of them lately, last few weeks. But anyway, I was just glad to get a job. Accepted it. It was one of these ones, accepted a client, and then I just went and did it. And then I realised when I got to the place and I was loaded, I tried to search Google Maps, put in the address for where I was going. I just picked up some like medical equipment, like a trolley, something more like mobility really, from one company that does that kind of stuff, from their Birmingham depot, and took it down to their Bristol depot, and there's actually very little. It was like, yeah, maybe it's because of the hoist was quite tall, but it could have gone in, yeah, it could have gone in a short wheelbase van, I'd have thought. But obviously no weight to this load really. Quick load, quick tip. But anyway, after I'd got to the collection, I tried to use Google Maps, it just wouldn't work, and then it was showing as like no data and then no phone calls. So I had to restart my phone, and when I did, I got 3 text messages through saying somebody tried to call this morning, gives their number, what time they tried to ring, and did not leave a message. So basically, for some reason, my phone wasn't ringing this morning. So there's 3 calls that I didn't get regarding jobs, but the first one I got wasn't until 20 to 10, so it was been like 25 minutes. Maybe got a job 25 minutes earlier. And I got me thinking about yesterday. I went out cycling yesterday, sort of into Shropshire countryside a bit. Maybe I lost reception, and I did notice when I got back home. So I got within the phone connected to the Wi-Fi at home. I got loads of notifications, ping, 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 because I had CX open just to see if I might catch a job on a Sunday for the morning. But I didn't really think about it properly. So I don't think I had my phone working properly for some reason since like Sunday afternoon until I restarted it, sort of like midday-ish, just before midday, once I'd done this collection. And my phone did this a few weeks ago as well when I did that job down to Milford Haven. I drove through middle of Wales and I think I lost reception for quite a while. And for some reason this phone, I think when I lose reception, it might just keep trying to reconnect and then it just doesn't bother. So I don't know if I've got a problem with this phone, but I'm sure my old Samsung used to do this occasionally, and every now and then you just have to restart it because you've just like lost all connection, even though it says 3G on it. Interesting to know, does anyone else have that kind of issue with their phone, or is it just me? Because like I say, I've had it on this. They might normally do it like once a month. It seems to have happened. That was maybe 2 weeks ago. Was it? Did that? Obviously, it's something I've got to really watch now because that really hampered me this morning. Could have got going sooner. Anyway, I got that job off down to Bristol. Went in at £1 a mile. And I was only about 8 miles from it to the pickup, and I managed to go a shorter route, so that worked out £1 a mile, all miles. And then I got down to Bristol like just before or just after 2 o'clock. I got tipped, and it's very quiet down there. I was quite surprised how quiet it was. But then it's a bit of a lull that time of day anyway. It's like early to mid afternoon is a quiet time, and it picks up in the evening for jobs, rush jobs to get out that day, overnight jobs, and then jobs for the morning. So I was only on 94 quid at that point. I thought, is this going to be it? It might be a real crap day. But in the end, I did get a job, small van job from Chippenham, which I was like 21 miles from. But it was a small van job going to Feltham, which is, Feltham Hounslow, very similar, close place to Heathrow. Got it at £1 a mile loaded, £89. Because I had quite a few miles to get there, it would have worked out less than 85 pence a mile. Anyway, I picked that up 2 boxes from I think the supplier of aerospace parts to an international freight company, only a smallish one. I think they were going on to some Middle Eastern airline. Got a lot of things on the box. I think so got out on tipped just after 6 here. So 89 and 94, it's at 183 for the day. So it kind of like saved the day, but still below target. But with what happened this morning, it being a Monday, so that's it. That's the day so far. I'm in one of my normal place now. When I have a tip down here, I park up a place called Stanwell. So I normally park over there. But you see a little church. There's a little church in Stanwell. Over in that direction, there's a chippy, there's a Chinese, there's a few convenience stores. There's even a few pubs, but trying to stay out of the pubs midweek. I don't really drink anyway. So I'm stopping here. This is probably maybe about half a dozen times now I've tramped here. So if I'm ever in this area, just come here and get to know areas now. It's nice and quiet, away from the roads. Obviously got the planes above, but not many of them flying at the moment. So I'm going to try and get up earliest tomorrow, like 6, half 6 at the latest. Try and get an early job from here out before everyone from outside of London gets here and is looking for cheap jobs out, or going cheap to get a job out. So that's the plan. That's it so far. Right, Thursday night now. I'm in Cardiff, outer suburbs of Cardiff. So I tramped in my usual spot in Stanwell. So I did have just gone through my questions from last week's video. Had someone on there asking where do I normally tramp. I usually mention it. I probably mention it less than I used to, but when I first started, I always used to tramp. I had this app which I haven't used in ages, still got it. I used to look for where it's an app where like people in camper vans stop, you know, like motorhomes. But I haven't used that in ages because every now and then it just works out quite nice. You end up in a nice spot to camp, but trap, I should say. Excuse me. But yeah, now and mostly it's either supermarkets where there's no parking restrictions because, you know, it's open, if not 24 hours, until 11, open really early. So if you need to use a toilet, that's handy. And if it's one I can get a gluten-free sandwich from, I try and get a meal deal out in the morning before starting. And then after that, it's probably residential streets. So I've parked up. I'm probably going to stay here tonight. There is a residential industrial estate just that way, but the place I looked at Google Maps to park on was on a bit of a slope, so that's a problem looking for things with Google Maps. You can't really tell whether it's even or not. But there's this newish housing development next to it, so I went for a bit of a quick spin around there, and this looks, you know, quite a good area. So there you go. You know, it's one of these fairly modern ones. I'm kind of parked out the way here, and I'm outside that house, but I'm not on the same side of the road as it. And on this side, it's just a wall kind of thing. So someone's guarding the other side, so I'm not parked directly outside someone's house. What I'd usually like to do, which I haven't done this time, is I'll put all my stuff in the back ready, so I'm not faffing around. But I'm gonna have to just do it quickly here and be a bit stealth about it. And then I can just park up in the spot. You know, I might watch something on YouTube or whatever, and then when it's time to go to bed, just jump in the back without, you know, faffing around too much. Anyway, so yeah, today I got a job. I'm always a bit anxious about getting out of London area, so I went in quite cheap on a job from Londonish area, long wheelbase. It was only like 4 miles from where I was. It was 74 miles loaded. I went in at 67 miles, which is, you know, cheap really to go in at like less than £1 a mile for a job that short. But so I was keen to get it. Down to Worthing, southeast coast. I quite like it down there. I normally do alright down that area. Yeah, the problem was it was just after 8 I got it. It wasn't picking up till maybe 20 past 8. Wasn't picking up till 9:30, but I was only a quarter of an hour from it, so a bit of time to kill. Got there a bit odd this, picking up from a residential address to pick up from their garage round the back, some old garage. Bit of a strange one. It was an electrician's sort of company, I think, but they're obviously building panels at one of the guys' house, so maybe we don't have a unit or something. Huge one, well, 3 panels, one small box, one light electrical panel is kind of wrapped in cardboard, and one really big awkward one, which is a bit of a struggle for me and this guy to put on the van, but we got on the van down to Worthing, tipped it to some big building site. Well, they're kind of like refurbishing, totally redoing a building on the high street. Quite a big site, proper, you know, proper job. One of the, you know, big sort of national construction companies doing it. So I just thought it was a bit strange, you know, picking up electrical parts, some back street shed, stroke garage, and delivering it to like a big building site. Anyway, so got that one off. There's a good few lads there to help get it off, or I just left them to it really. And then I was down in Worthing, eventually got a job sort of midday-ish, just after midday, so tipped out 11:30, maybe it's 1 o'clock by the time I got a job, from Crawley. So it's quite far from Crawley. Worthing to Crawley is quite far, it's like 40-minute drive, 30 something miles, and it was a small van job going over to Cardiff, 169 miles, so I went in at 169 quid, £1 a mile. Phones you up and says, can I do it for 160? And I thought, yeah, it just gets me going. So went and picked that up, but he rang me on the way there and said, there's another one, do you mind doing it on the Hemel Hempstead on the way? It's an extra 23 miles on the job. He says, I'll give you an extra 30 quid for it. So I thought, great, yeah, I'll do that. So I got 190 for that, 67 for the first, which is 257 for the day. With yesterday's, I mean, I'm bang on target. I'm 2 days in, I'm 440, and pence per mile is Not great, but not terrible either. About 88 pence a mile. Nothing for the morning, but Cardiff should be alright down here. But yeah, I'll try and get up early-ish again. That second job was picking up sort of stuff for dentists from some dentist supply place. I think they do implants, delivering to dentists or dental surgeries. Yeah, so that's a day. Not really feeling it this week. I didn't sleep great in the van last night. I think I had a coffee, I had a big coffee at like 2 o'clock. I think that was a bad idea because I just woke up this morning feeling like, I don't know, didn't really sleep properly. So I do need to cut down on my coffee. I do tend to have too many coffees. Hopefully I feel better tomorrow, a bit more on it, but it's going alright so far. So yeah, that's Tuesday. Gair Cymraeg y Dydd, Welsh word of the day. Yes, I've just filmed an update in Wales, the motherland, so it's time for Welsh word of the day, just to be consistent. So yeah, I'm sat in a housing estate, newish housing estate. Next to it was the sort of industrial estate that I was thinking of parking in, tramping on. So yeah, Welsh word of the day for today is Welsh word for estate, which is ystad. So it's kind of spelt similar, well, as you say it, Y-S-T-A-D, ystad, and that means estate. So you'll see that on signs. I think it's the signs. I keep saying all these. You can probably work them out yourself because they're bilingual. But if you ever see industrial estate, and in the Welsh version, the ystad means the estate bit. So there you go. That's Welsh word for today. Right, Wednesday evening now, Wednesday night, at 9ish I think. Quite a busy day today. I had 3 jobs, none of them particularly long jobs. I need to get some decent jobs in the remainder of this week, decent long jobs in. So yeah, I woke up this morning, I was a bit late getting up maybe, I think it was like 20 to 8. I got up, started looking for jobs at that time anyway, and the job was on there and I bid on it, and got it straight away. So I got a job like within 5 minutes, picking up a place called Hengoed, which is kind of like north of Cardiff, like up into the valleys. Couldn't pick it up till 9. 2 drops, one in Bristol and then one in Hengoed, medium wheelbase job. Can't remember exactly. I quoted over £1 a mile anyway, loaded. It's a bit of a little drive to get up. It's like 12 miles or something, maybe less, I can't remember. Anyway, yeah, got a job, went and picked it up. It was just some distribution place that looks like we do like computers and tech and stuff like that. So I had a pallet of stuff to go to the Bristol drop. Just had Bristol in the job, I think, and devices. Turned out to be BS1, so like right in the middle of town. And it was a pallet, and because it just had, when the job came through, it just had the postcodes, didn't have a detailed address, couldn't tell much about the address, but they loaded me first, then they gave me the paperwork, and then on the paperwork you could see it was like an office building. It was like first floor of an office building. So I thought, great, this might be one of them awkward pallet conversations. Got there to tip. To be fair to them, the 2 people on reception came and helped, and they weren't dressed for messing around with goods and dragging pallets around. And then some like janitorial guy as well. So there's 3 of them. So they took all the stuff. I just stripped the pallet down, and then I just said the usual thing: I'm gonna have to leave the pallet with you because I need to, go empty to my next job. They did kind of hint at me taking it, but I just declined politely, basically. And then the second drop was a fire brigade in Devizes area, and it said support officers. So I thought it was going to be in like a business park or something, but no, it was in some like old country house that apparently the fire brigade own. It's like one of their headquarters or one of their support areas, sort of support buildings. That was quite an interesting drop outside of Devizes. Tipped that one. Because I had to wait around for that pickup, it didn't really turn out great, that job. I've cut 95, I think it was like 80 something miles loaded. It was a medium wheelbase, but with 2 drops. went into the visors, parked up, and got a job really quickly. Surprised to get this job because it was down as a small van job and it was picking up in Andover, so it was quite far from Andover. I quoted 90 quid and I was like 78 miles from it, and it's a small van job, but it's only because of the miles to get there. I think I'd worked out 85 pence a mile, guessing there, and loaded miles. Almost dropped you then. And I was 50 minutes from it, so I think they must have just really been struggling. But Andover, you're not that far from Southampton and stuff there really, so I was a bit surprised to get this one. I got there to pick it up. It's just some specialist builders merchants, and as it turns out, this load would have fitted in a small van because it was only one length of this like edge trimming, which thankfully is flexible. It was 6 meters long. I'm sure it was like, it's definitely 5, maybe 6 meters long. So I had it like diagonally from one side of the up against the bulkhead to the opposite at the bottom of the door other side, and it had a big bow in it because it was quite flexible. Anyway, got it in, and I was just tipping to some builders on a private house. It's got that tipped. That was tipping in, it said Worthing on the job instructions, but wasn't actually Worthing, it was Goring-on-Sea, beautiful little town on the coast. So have a quick look at this. Here we go, Goring by Sea, very nice. Just let's see the van there. See Brighton Pier in the distance. Very nice, typical southeast coast shingle beach, very nice. Yeah, so tipped that one. I had a very brief look at that beach. Literally just after I filmed that, I got a call about another job. As soon as I pulled up by that beach, I bid on a few jobs, and then the job pinged up, which I got, which was from Worthing itself, 5 miles down the road, 20 minutes to Felton. And it did say in the job instructions, it's one of these jobs, it was like just after 4 o'clock then, 20 past 4. What the hell's going on here? Maybe I'm too close to his nest. And my arm's getting tired. Fucking hell, it's back. You know what's going on here? Right, back in the safety of the van now. So I'm not sure what that was. Sure the bees are asleep this time by this time in the evening, but anyway, get out of there quick sharp. Anyway, yeah, so this job is one of these jobs where I kind of knew I was in a good position to get it because there's not that many vans around there. It's getting late in the afternoon, and it was pick up before 5, and at that time it's like 4:15. So yeah, it's quite urgent. I knew to recognise the company name, but I've not done any jobs for them before. It was quite a big transport company. I've got a few depots around like the Heathrow area, and I see their trucks all over the place, like every now and then, kind of thing. So I bid on it, got it. See on the job notes, it did say 40 packages for one consignment and 29 for another, and the weight in it was like 900 kilograms. So I thought, it says that, so it's going to be handball in, but it's probably just going to be boxes. So yeah, that's all right. Got a job. It turned out to be like a bit of an annoying job. This annoying is the word, and the annoying thing about it was the shipper, because I get a job, and then I'm on the way to the job. So I've said on the app, you know, accepted, on my way to pick up. Got everything I need, and then the guy phones me on the way. I think I'm kind of connected. I think I had the radio turned off, to be fair. So there's a pull over on the side of the road, and then he starts talking through the details of the job, you know, stuff he'd already read on the job notes. And I'm like, all right, yeah, mate, yeah, I've got that. I just need to get to the pickup then, don't I? And he's like, yeah, all right, yeah. I start going, and then, like, literally just around the corner from getting to the place, the phone rings again. This time I had set my hands up free up, just basically turned the radio on, muted it. And it's the same company again, but a different guy. And he goes, oh, yeah, it's blah, blah, blah from such and such logistics. You did a job for us earlier today? And I'm like, no, I've just got the job for you, and I'm just on the way to the pickup. And he's like, oh, right, so you haven't done the pickup yet? And I'm like, well, no, I only just got a job 15 minutes ago, and I said I'm 20 minutes from it, so I'm just getting there now. And he's like, all right, yeah. And he, went, get there, found those two guys. There's a lot of boxes, but they brought them to the van. I just stacked them, gave me the paperwork. And then he rang me again when I was loading. I just said, well, I'm loading now. It was the last I heard from them on the phone, actually. But they were just like one of these ones that just keep phoning you for no reason. Yeah. Anyway, and then got loaded, headed off. Bit of traffic on the M25. Get to sort of Feltham area, which is where I am now. I'm actually parked now in Stanwell, where I tramped the other night on the same little street, and I stop here quite a lot. So yeah, I went to do the drop, and there's just like a queue. There's like a lane to go down in this place. Never been there before. First job I've done for this company. Just said vans, so you joined the queue. A couple of vans in front of me. Get to the front of the queue, and the guy buggers off on the forklift. So eventually comes back out. I say, right, yeah, I've got such and such packages. There's the paperwork. Thinking, they're going to take them off me, or if they need putting on pallets, they're going to get the pallets and help me unload. Goes, oh, I'll just get you some pallets then. Brings me a big stack of pallets, drops them by the van, leaves me to it. So with handball, I don't charge handball unless it's like blatantly going to be loads of handball and you awkward or something like alcohol or full kitchen joinery I did a few weeks ago. But this one, like I was delivering, they booked me, I was delivering to them. It was a collection for them, so they booked me, I was delivering to their premises, and they don't give you any help. And it's like 69 packages, 44 and 29 for the other. So anyway, I just thought, right, just get it done, get out of here. So I waited 5 or 10 minutes. By the time I'd stacked them all on pallets, there's 5 full pallets, like 1.5 metre tall by the time I put them all on. Nearly a ton of stuff. And then I walk around the corner and I see there's a big office saying transport office. So I thought, well, I'll go in there, give him my paperwork because the forklift driver buggered off to get him to sign it. And then they're like, oh yeah, it was a bit confusing who I was, so what I had. So I showed them details on my phone and the paperwork being given. And then they're like, oh, right, we'll print you off some labels. And I'm like, labels for what? And he goes, oh, well, you need to put a sticker on each of the packages. And I'm like, well, your colleague just told me to load them all onto pallets. They're all on pallets now. I wasn't really, keen on the idea of stripping them down or trying to put labels on. So he goes, all right, we'll just do one label for each pallet. I'm like, right, whatever. So I got 5 labels. Go back outside and he says, one of the guys out there will sign so the paperwork I got from the collection wasn't really suitable for a POD, so I'm just going to give it to them. It's more to do like international shipping and stuff, conformity and all that rubbish, certificates. So I'd written my own one, and I go outside and the guy's like, a different forklift driver. He goes, oh, is that your van? You do them pallets? And I'm like, oh yeah, I've just unloaded the van and put them on the pallets. And he goes, oh, well, can you put some wrap around them for us? He wanted me to wrap them now. Like, I was like, is this guy taking the, And I just says, no, I can't, mate. I'm being booked to collect and deliver them. So there they are, pretty much, I said politely. And I've been here getting on for an hour now, which is like half an hour too much. And he was just like, you could see it. I think he was just trying it on, really. He pulled a face and he said something under his breath, but I just ignored him, got him to sign the paperwork and then buggered off. And I could have rang them up and chased them, but I think I'll just know with that company in the future, bid high or give them a swerve. So that was the day. I've had what I said earlier in the week about my phone losing reception and then not getting it again. It's happened twice today, so I had to reset my phone twice. Nice drive today between Devizes and Andover. So you go over to Salisbury Plain and there's obviously a big MOD area, that part of the world. Tank range, I think it is. A mate of mine used to be in the army, he was down there, Tidworth sort of area. yeah, that was quite nice, but yeah, lost reception there, and by the time I got to Andover, didn't have reception and had to reset the phone to get it. So that's something to watch. But anyway, yeah, I've hit target today, so I was bang on target after Monday, Tuesday. I've done like 253 today, but I'm doing too many medium distance jobs, so they're not good for pence per mile and not good for total earnings. So I need to kind of knock that on the head for the next couple of days. I need to get some longer jobs in, like from down here to Northwest or Yorkshire or something like that. So even if I have to go in slightly cheap tomorrow morning, that is my tactics for tomorrow. Right, Thursday evening now. Best day I've had earnings wise in a few weeks. 3 jobs today, so I was a bit lazy this morning, to be honest. I didn't actually start looking at jobs until 8 o'clock. I was quite snug in the back. If you watch this, you probably realise I'm not really a morning person. I prefer to get up a bit later and work later. That would suit me much better. And I think that kind of like when you're tramping, you can work later into the evening when a lot of people would want to be home with the family at home or whatever. That's kind of like making the most of it, I think. So that's where I'm looking at it now. Anyway, started looking at it. Actually got a job straight away before I'd even finished packing away the stuff. A short wheelbase job pinged up a few miles from where I was in Stanwell. And it was, yeah, going up to Birmingham, and I thought, it's not a long job. Like I said, I was going to target yesterday, but it's going to the Midlands. Good place getting on the job, getting closer to home. So I went in a bit cheap on that. It was like 100 miles ish or something, and I went at 78 quid, which is like 78 pence a mile, which is kind of like on the money for a short wheelbase job. Obviously I'm in a long wheelbase. I normally quote a bit higher and just put them in a long wheelbase. I was kind of keen to get it, and it's harder to get. I think prices are kind of suppressed around London. Prices are lower. So anyway, got the job, picked it up. It's a bit like yesterday's job. Yesterday was a small van job, the long length one thing, when it should have been a long wheelbase or even extra long wheelbase job, purely on length. This one of the 2 pallets, one of them was like 1.8 meters, because I can get that in the back doors just about. It's a tight squeeze. There's only like an inch to spare. Yeah, and it was tight getting in. I think it was full 1.8 meters. But anyway, got it loaded, picked it up from a courier company's premises. Actually, it was in some other guy's van that works for them. So I took it out of his van and put it into my van. And he's going off doing other things. And then I tipped it to, just some like storagey warehouse place in Birmingham, south of Birmingham. And then got a job after that, pretty sharpish. Quite busy the fee this morning. Down London way and also Birmingham, it was busy. Yeah, picked up a job. How was that? It was a job. It's a funny one. I was looking for it. It was like 11:45. And I was only 20 minutes from it. 25 minutes maybe from it. It says pick up at 1. And it was like 92 miles, and I was 8 miles from it. So I went in at 90 quid. So it was 90 pence a mile, all miles. This one was down as a medium wheelbase job. Pretty sure, yeah, it was medium wheelbase. And then I came through. I kind of recognised the name of the company. Got there, and I had been there before. Even though I'd been there before, it was like a truck driver kind of like advised me to go to the wrong door. But anyway, went to the right door, got there 5 to 1. So I thought I'm a few minutes early, not taking a mick. And the guy goes, you come here just as we're starting lunch, mate. We start lunch at 1. So they said, get there for 1. And when I spoke to the guy on the phone, he goes, they're on lunch before that. So you can try and turn it up a bit early if you like, but I probably won't load you. But obviously someone's got confused or totally wrong in the thing, because it was actually a start at lunch at 1. So I got there for 1, a few minutes before, had a half hour wait while they had their lunch. But so I was out of there 1:45. and then I went up to Skelmersdale, picked up some, it was like a heat treatment place I picked up from, and I took it back to the place that made these parts, precision engineering place, and I'd been there before, so I think I'd done this exact job before. I'm not sure if it was in this van or the old van, probably the old van. Yeah, and then tipped that one, knew where to go with that one because I've been there before. Well, I've been to a place before, but I've definitely got it right this time. On a tip, and then parked up outside. It's kind of like 4 o'clock by then. Is it 4? No, like 3:45 maybe. And then a job pinged up Skelmersdale, a few miles down the road, to Borehamwood, which is by Watford. Short wheelbase job, 190 something miles. I went in at 177 pence. 177 pounds, got it, which I think works out, it's more than 85. I think I worked out 85 pence a mile is 167, and I added a tenner on because I thought it's getting into the evening, towards the late evening, and I'm right on top of it, even though it's a short wheelbase. Yeah, and I got the call, got it, and that was just signs from like a sign printers. They print on like hard plastic, some quite big and long sort of flat boxes, 3 of them, and some loose items. So I was loaded there just like 20 to 5, and then a straight drive down to here, Borehamwood, Watford area. Yeah, pretty clear run, slight bit of congestion on the M6 through Birmingham, but it had actually cleared, so my journey time was less than what it had said, because I'd set off at like just approaching rush hour, or in rush hour. By the time I hit Birmingham, all that had cleared. So yeah, I got down here, tipped to some like biomedical sciences manufacturing facility type place, and apparently it's going for into a summer shutdown next week for like maintenance, and they've like farmed out all the maintenance and shutdowns to a project management company, and it was delivering signs for the shutdown. So it's a bit of crazy really. They got like marquees everywhere, and you know, like welfare units and canteens that are all brought in, you know, the container ones. Just putting all this lot together must be quite a major shutdown really. Yeah, so that was quite interesting really. It's what I've kind of not really been to before. Bit of an like insight into my old life as a maintenance and reliability engineer, and like I was more in heavy industry and smelting and iron ore mining and stuff, but this is total opposite end, like really high precision pharmaceutical-y type biomedical stuff. But anyway, yeah, so got that tipped. So good day today, 3, 4, 5 for the day, off 3 jobs, so I'm doing all right. Just got to do 52 quid tomorrow to hit target, which is 1100 for the week, 220 a day, and obviously get closer to the Midlands. So I'm actually sat in the Costco car park in a place called Bushy. I did look on Google Maps. I've been for the Chinese and fried rice, and there's like an industrial estate just down the corner from me, but I was driving past, so I thought I'll nip in and see if there's if I can park in here for the night. It's probably going to be quieter, and they've shut. Don't know if you can hear that. They're collecting all the trolleys in, so I can't really get out and start putting my stuff in the back. So I'm just going to watch some stuff on YouTube. If it all goes quiet and nobody said nothing to me like, yeah, what's your game? I'm going to be staying here for the night. Right, Friday afternoon now, sort of like mid-afternoon, and I'm done for the week, and I'm not far from home. I'm parked outside the tip I just done. So I was down Bushy. I did sleep in that Costco overnight, no trouble. Very, very quiet, great stuff. A bit lazy again getting up. Didn't start looking for jobs until 8. Feed was pretty busy, but obviously I was being a lot more selective today because I have to get back home. So I bid on a few jobs that kind of going towards the Midlands, and I got one which was a long wheelbase van picking up in Milton Keynes, LU7, which is quite far from where I was, but it was like 3 drops, and the last one was in Birmingham. So I got that job, quoted 95 on that, and I was just about to send the job through, just about to leave this Costco car park. Guy rings me and I thought, oh, is it going to be cancelled? He goes, just looking at your van, mate, I think that's probably too heavy, that route, we're going to have to sort something out, or a different van, a bigger van, something like that anyway. But I've got another one, which is one drop in Birmingham, and he says, do you want to re-quote on that one? And I said to him, I said, well, I'm quite far from it, I'm like over 33 miles from pickup. Yeah, I'd be looking for 90 quid. And he goes, I go on, and don't want to mess you around too much, so yeah, 90 quid, happy with that. It's kind of worked out better for me in the end, because I skipped out 2 drops and a fair bit of mileage. I still got a fiver less than what the original job was. Yeah, I picked up from this, like a bathroom wholesale place in a big industrial estate, trading estate, and I delivered it then to B11. It was sort of like East Birmingham, Acox Greenway, just some like shop, bathroom fittings and stuff shop that deal with the trade and public. Yeah, and got that tipped. It was quite heavy. It was like 1100 kilograms, 2 pallets, one of which we had to split, take the top layer off because it was too tall. So it was over 1.8 meters. And this is one of them jobs where you sometimes get them where you're delivering multiple orders, so there must have been like 7 separate orders on these 2 pallets, so I had to get them to sign all 7 sheets. It kind of gets a bit tedious for them, and then I've got to upload 7 sheets to the CX app. That's just how it is, you know, you just click on. So got that done, put me sort of East Birmingham. I thought, right, do I just call it a day and go home here, because I'd made my target by then. Quick look on the feed, there's a few jobs going to Walsall, not too far from me. The first one I bid on I got, but it was picking up in West Brom, which was 10 miles away, and delivering to WS2. So I'm right next to junction 10 now on the M6, to the west of it. Yeah, so I went and picked it up. Bit of a nightmare getting across Birmingham. Took me probably best part of 50 minutes to get there, maybe 45. Got it picked up. It was from a transport company, which were part of a pallet network. First time I've been there, see their trucks all over this part of the world. Obviously, it's their neck of the woods. Yeah, sometimes you go into transport companies and they're a bit miserable, but this one was quite nice. They're all pretty sound guys, and they seem to have a good laugh working there. Maybe it's just because it was Friday afternoon, I don't know. But yeah, it seemed in there, good spirits there. Got loaded 2 pallets for some said textiles company on the address. So I got to kind of where it was, and it's, if you know where Boundary Mills store is, right next to junction 10 of the M6. It goes off on the Black Country Way. It was in this area, but it didn't say Boundary Mills on the address, and I didn't really understand what Boundary Mills is. I thought it was just a shop, you know, like Matalan or something, and it's all their own gear. But by the looks of it, it was like they sell. It's an outlet for designer kind of stuff, and they have like kind of like different sections inside. And this one was something shoes. But anyway, it took me probably about 10-15 minutes to find it, because I went to all of the wrong industrial estates, and then eventually tried this place, Goods Inn. He goes, yeah, you're the right place, mate. But he goes, what is it? I says, because I was in a panel van, 2 pallets. And he goes, well, we don't accept pallets off vans because they didn't have a forklift. A big place like this, they've only got like 2 loading bays for trucks. So obviously trucks pull into the back, and then their little ramp goes on it, and they use a pallet trucks and stuff. So initially he was going to like refuse it, and I says, well, you'll have to come back with it in a proper truck. And I was like, well, I'm actually courier, we've been brought in to deliver this. I'm not actually part of this transport company. And then he radioed somebody, and then they says, okay, we'll handball it off. Which is good for me. So yeah, it didn't take long to handball off. Left the pallets with them. Yeah, never happened to me before. You know, like you think going to a big place like this, as close as I've come to like a refused load, because they're being funny about how it's packaged or whatever. Close to coming to that scenario. It's actually tipped here at 2, so I was done by 2. So 90 for the first one, 140 for the second one, and that was 15 miles getting to the tip and getting here, and I'm less than 5 miles from home. So from that tip of the first job to getting home, it's over £2 a mile kind of thing, including getting home, so it's worked out quite well. Only 130 for the day, but I'm not bothered because I've done quite well so far this week, especially yesterday, so I'm ahead of target anyway. I'm closer to 1200 than my target of 11, so I'm a few miles from home, pretty knackered, so I've just knocked it on the head. Get home, do my invoicing tonight instead of tomorrow morning, so it's all done and posted off then, and then week work's properly finished. So while I was here, Boundary Mills, never actually been in there before, like I say, so I thought, well, I was driving past the place, but I thought I'd check it out. I did think before, it's there's one of these in North Wales, and I got the impression it's kind of like geared towards the older sort of demographic, older people, like, yeah, and fair to say I think most people in there had been double jabbed for COVID, that's for sure. But I did actually buy something. Bought myself some work t-shirts. They're actually French Connection, but polo shirts, black for work, 100% cotton, which I like, because anything with polyester in it I just like get really clammy and sweaty and stinky, so I find 100% cottons I go for. It's nice and thin, so I bought 2 of them, 15 quid each. RRP's 35 quid, so I thought I'll have a couple of them. I need some of them anyway. Yeah, so that's a decent bargain, I think, to end the week. So that's, like I say, I'll do my summary, but I've hit target. Pence per mile should be above target as well. Yeah, so decent week in the end, but pretty knackered now. Right, Sunday late afternoon now, early evening. I can do a quick summary because if you watched this far, you would have realised this is a long one. Yeah, so on the run 5 days this week. Not quite full 5 days. I kind of finished about 2:15 on a Friday, which was nice. Didn't get home any nights, so I was 4 nights away. Didn't use any accommodations, so 4 nights in the back of the van. Yeah, so Monday 2 jobs, 94 and 89, which is 183. Tuesday 3 jobs, 67, 160 and 30, 257. So Wednesday 95, 90 and 78, so it's 263 for the day. Best day of the week on the Thursday, 78, 90 and 177, it's 345 quid for the day. And Friday was a short day, 90 and 40 is 130. Didn't have any like non-normal expenses, just my normal running costs. So that total comes to 1,178, which is an average of £235.60 a day, taking Friday as a full day. Mileage 1,318, which works out pence per mile, all miles. So that mileage, as I normally say, is from leaving the house on Monday to getting back on the Friday. 1,318 is all miles, so it's 89.3 pence a mile. So that's above my target of 85 pence a mile, which I initially set when I got this van. I normally go higher than that. Don't think I've ever been below it actually. And currently my target is kind of to do 1100 or 220, 1100 for the week before the VAT bonus, and then 200, which is like 220 a day. Do you want to take into account the VAT I get to keep because I'm on the VAT flat rate scheme, and deduct my fixed costs, which is £20 a working day, so that's £100 for the week, and then take away my variable costs, which is the per mile cost of 30 pence a mile, comes out about 770 pre-tax profit or wage. Because I'm a sole trader, I just think my profit is my wage, but again that's pre-tax. Got to pay income tax, national insurance contributions on that, so the pre-tax is about 155 a day, which is pretty good really. If I do 150 a day, then it's kind of worth it, sleeping in a van and tramping and working like that the way I do. I was just before quite enjoy that lifestyle a bit, but still got to pay, still a sacrifice. yeah, so that's it for the week money wise. I didn't do my my little survey or whatever, run how many jobs came up at home, but it is getting busier. It seemed a bit quiet on the Monday, but by the end of the week, like Thursday, Friday, wherever I was like down the southeast London area, in the Midlands and in the northwest, yeah, it's pretty busy, which is good to see. Obviously busier than the previous week, but it's kind of like that. You just don't know why it's like that sometimes. Yeah, so that's it. Thanks for watching. I have noticed watching back my videos that I'm kind of getting a bit in need of a break. So one thing I've found, I've been self-employed now for like 3 years. Even though I work my figures off working 46 weeks a year, because once you take out bank holidays and stuff like that, and then a few weeks off, and then time off also for getting a van serviced and stuff, which is due shortly as it happens. Yeah, I always find it, I almost feel guilty about taking time off, but I am planning on taking a week off, probably like late July. I'll probably take 2 weeks off over the summer, one late August, one late July. Because yeah, when I used to be just on a wage or a salary, you know, you get so many holidays a year and you don't think about it. But it doesn't know how anyone else feels. When you're self-employed, you tend to just keep work. But I do need a break. Anyway, yeah, that's it. So thanks for watching.